All right. Good morning once again, or good afternoon. Welcome to today's second stream of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are going to be flying from Savannah up to Charleston Executive, right there. So yeah, about an hour or so flight, I guess, give or take. But before we start, one of the things, because we're not going to be able to fly over Savannah properly, so I figured I'd show you a few things from the air and kind of talk about that before we take off. And yeah, so overhead, this is downtown Savannah, mainly made up mostly of the historic district. And for those of you who haven't watched or heard me talk about Savannah, the historic district basically, if you buy a house there, A, you have to have a lot of money, and B, you cannot make significant changes to the house unless the historic society approves of it. So if you want to paint it, it has to be a color that is approved only by the historic society. You can't do anything other than that. So I think this is a graveyard here that was basically desecrated by soldiers from the north. Once they took over Savannah during the Civil War, they moved the headstones around. The cemetery used to extend out this way, and when they moved the headstones, basically there's a wall right along here where the cursor is that they moved the headstones to, because they never knew where people were buried. Like, they didn't have the information to be able to put the headstones back properly. And then this park here, this is Forsyth Park. It was a military parade ground for many years. The hospital that took care of the wounded from both sides of the war, I think is right... I'm thinking it's right here. Or maybe right here. Yeah, that's it right there. So that's the old Candler Hospital. And you used to be able to do a tour of the morgue. Not anymore, but the morgue was underground, I believe, right about here. And then they had a trolley system. It was a gurney on tracks that they took the bodies out to here during the yellow fever epidemic. But yeah, and then this park is also very famous. The fountain here is kind of the focal point in the lead up to the St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The master of ceremonies for the parade, they come out and they pour green dye into the fountain area here, and within a matter of minutes or so, the water is green in preparation for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. But yeah, very historic area. And I took the painting classes, the oil painting classes here downtown. They were in right around here somewhere. Yeah. Or no, it was this street. Yeah, it was like right here or so. Yeah, this used to be I think this is an old Sears or Montgomery Ward's right here. And yeah, so anyway, and then real quick, I'll show you. This is my last duty station, Hunter Army Airfield. And now this building is longer here, but that was the aid station I worked at. Right there. But that building, this is kind of an old photo because that building is no longer there. So, yeah. But that's Hunter Army Airfield. It was a alternate landing site for the space shuttle. That's what they told me. I guess it was a long enough runway that if they touched down, they would be able to run all the way out to there if they needed to slow it down. But it was an alternate site. And then, yeah, so that's that. And then my last, where I worked at before I was actually gone, when I finally left the Army, I worked here at this clinic. That's Tuttle Health Clinic there. So, yeah. I think Norfolk Southern has that's their train yard there. A lot of shipping stuff. Yeah, a lot of port activity. Mick, if you're here already, or when you come in, if you rewatch this for the first few minutes or so, and I'll tell you if you happen to come in. But if you guys, I don't know if Savannah's on the DLC yet, but look at all that freight. So if they do add, excuse me, if they do add Savannah to American Truck Simulator, you guys could find there'll probably be plenty of shipping jobs in the game from Savannah, probably down to Jacksonville, and all that. So yeah, you follow the freeway down here, and you'll run into Jacksonville, right there. So if it's not on a truck, it'll definitely be on a train. So yeah, plenty of shipping action in Savannah, and at Charleston as well. So we're going to go here in Charleston, but I'm trying to think where. I think the historic district is right here. Yeah, and then you have across Charleston. Trying to find it. There's a aircraft carrier museum that you can. Matter of fact, it might be. Yep, there it is, right there. So the historic district is over here of Charleston. So, but anyway, let's get ready to fly. Get in here and get our weather changed, and we'll be in the air shortly.
Savannah
So
Tower,
hopefully everybody's having a good afternoon.
Departure.
Cessna 237 altimeter tree, 0.14 wind 227 at 5. Departure to the north approved. Cleared for takeoff, runway 1.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 1, Cessna 237.
Alright, we don't need that right now. Let's get our direction stuff on. Make sure we have our landing, all that information. And then let's change our weather so we don't have to worry about the clouds and the wind. I think we're okay. Alright, let's get our parking brake off. Alright, I think we are ready to go. So notice we take off, there's no, we don't even need to use the flaps for additional lift for takeoff.
Cessna
Maybe I was looking at the
237
wrong.
continue for north departure.
Savannah Tower Cessna 237 continue for north departure.
Kind of quiet. Maybe I did go live just a few minutes early, but I'm sure people will kind of filter in here as they see fit. It should be a pretty steady flight, I think. Shouldn't be any major issues.
Leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Savannah Tower Cessna 237 frequency change. Savannah approach Cessna 237 is type Cessna Skyhawk 5 miles northeast of Savannah at 2,400 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Cessna 237 Savannah approach. Squawk 6457.
Squawk 6457 Cessna 237.
Cessna 237 radar contact 5 miles northeast of Savannah 2,600 feet. Cleared through the Charlie airspace.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace Cessna 237.
I just saw the thing for Hunter. Just flash for a brief moment. So right off there, off the right wingtip is the Atlantic Ocean. One of the cool places you can visit in Savannah that I did get a chance to show you all is Tybee Island. Now, the problem with Tybee Island is there's only one way on and one way off the island. So if you happen to be there during a storm, or, you know, if you ever hear about hurricanes near Tybee Island and they have to evacuate, there's only one way on and one way off. And when everybody's trying to get off, it's a bit of a madhouse. But it's a pretty cool place. There is a lighthouse that you can tour there in Tybee. You can, as far as I know, you can go up to the top of it and step out on the outside of the the lighthouse if you feel so inclined to do so, and you can take in the view from up there. It's a pretty neat view. But yeah, very green. A lot of this area is very swamplandish kind of thing. Oh, somebody left a like and then dipped out. The phantom like. Oh, there we go. A few people are showing up now. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Nick, I'm guessing you are one of those folks watching. If you back up to, or if you watch the very beginning, I did a little aerial tour, kind of from the map for the overhead. Kind of talked about a few places there in Savannah. So if you want a bit of a, there's Josh. Ah, there's Ryan. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Josh. Yep. So we got this nice 50 Cessna 172, a little larger. According to when you start up, or when you're in the loading screens, they talk about the 172 a bit about the. I didn't know this plane first flew in 1955, and it's been one of Cessna's best sellers for quite some time. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of pilots learned in the Cessnas. That and Beechcraft, I think, was the other one I remember hearing about quite a bit growing up. I think at the airport up the road from where I live. So. Yeah, I saw what you put. Brian, the Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines. Yeah, I saw it. I got you. I think they used to offer, and I don't know if they still do, but they used to offer flying lessons at the airport up the road from where I live.
Cessna 237, you're leaving my airspace. Radar service terminated. Squawk
The B-2 bomber came into service post-Cold War. If it was flying before that, it was very secretive, but you had the F-117 flew first over in the Gulf War, and the B-2 was developed shortly after that, if I remember. So it's only been about 30 years. But I don't think the F-117 even flies
Squawk 0753 Cessna 237.
Cessna 237 radar contact 8 miles northwest of 20 Charlie 35,000 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
Roger, Cessna 237.
But the B-52's flown much longer than that. That flew in Vietnam and has continued flying even after that. They still managed to find a way to keep updating it and making it relevant. Maybe that's the one you're thinking of, right? It's the B-52, not the B-2. Yeah. Well, the B-52 certainly does. It's old school flying, but it's been modernized to stay relevant for today. So yeah, it is a aircraft that it certainly will do what it needs, what's asked of it. That's for sure. Although eventually, at some point, I think they're just going to say we can't keep throwing money into keeping it going. Yeah. So we got just about 60 miles to our timed approach. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Well, a lot of them that when they thought that they were just done, they did scrap them, but yeah, they were able to, a lot of them they were able to keep around. So we are near Hilton Head. We are now officially in South Carolina. That's yep, there's the marker for Hilton Head Airport. The Salty Fair landing, that's a landing area for seaplanes, or the small seaplanes. So, yeah. Kind of a neat little area. I love Hilton Head. Now, I forgot to show you, I knew I forgot something on the history lesson. Yeah, well, they've been able to extend it, Ryan, a lot of times beyond belief, I guess. So they're, yeah, I don't know that it's, there's going to come a point where they're going to say we can't, it's reached the point of no return. There's nothing more that can be done. But anyway, there's a racetrack across the way from Savannah, across the river there. There is a racetrack around the golf, well, not around the whole golf course, but it cuts through the golf course. And they use that, so they have what they call the Savannah Speed Weeks. Everything is it's tied between the car racing. It's all usually vintage sort of stuff, or somewhat, there's not like a lot of modern racing cars there. But then they have, that's tied in with the Hilton Head Concours d'Elegance. So yeah, you can watch the vintage racing in the days prior to the actual car show. It's pretty cool. Again, if you look on my Flickr page, there's pictures. They have like a whole class for motorcycle racing. It's the older. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But somehow, I don't quite understand how they've been able to extend the life of a lot of those airframes. I mean, at some point, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know that I'd really want to get into this plane because it's reached, how many hours has it flown, and is it still airworthy, so to speak. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm surprised. I figured Mick would be here. Mick's not here. Yep, exactly. Yep, I remember hearing that as well. When they go supersonic, it expands, and the plane is like this, almost like a living thing in some cases. The skin expands and contracts as needed to deal with the high speeds and the amount of heat generated. Well, we'll never be so fortunate to see something like that here in the game, because that's not technology that the Air Force still wants to tell everybody about or to show in a game. Plus, I don't really know how would you're cruising at the edge of space. Would the game be able to handle that kind of graphic, being on the edge of space? I mean, we're already. They talk about the stratosphere flying the Airbus 320. So, now. Yeah, I believe it. They have one in the museum there in Georgia at I can't remember the name of the Air Force Base there. Warner Robins Air Force Base. There's a they have an SR-71 there as well.
approach Cessna 237 6,500 feet.
Cessna 237, approach altimeter 29.9, do continue as planned.
So I'm hoping, the runway I picked, I'm hoping we have a straight-in approach to Charleston Executive, that we don't have to do the whole come around and get in the pattern that way. I think we're going to kind of level off here. Take a little trim off here. Hopefully we can kind of level off right here, and then start making our descent into Charleston. Well, but they've outlived their usefulness, and the amount of money that was probably being spent on the SR-71 program was probably astronomical. And so you had, it became a matter of, all right, can we continue to operate this for the amount of money that they were spending? No UFO went by. There's no. If anything passed by, it was another aircraft flying at a different altitude below us, probably going into Hilton Head, maybe. No UFOs in the game. What was I going to say? Yeah, I just don't know that they could afford to continue to operate the SR-71. That probably cost a massive amount of money to maintain. They can put that money elsewhere. They can develop other aircraft. So Beaufort, very famous. Pat Conroy, who wrote Prince of Tides and Great Santini. What else? Wrote a lot of novels. Is from the Beaufort area. He died, I think, a few years back. But yeah, he I guess born and raised in the area. So a lot of his books are based on the Beaufort area. Barbara Streisand famously had a house in Beaufort and was not pleased that I guess her house was in the flight line of the Marine Corps Air Station, so she filed a complaint about the noise of the Marine Corps Air Station, apparently. So I kind of feel like that's something her realtor should have explained in greater detail. There's a smaller airport, Beaufort County Airport, right there. But you could do a guided tour of Beaufort. It's a pretty nice area. Not nearly as well known as Charleston, of course. Yeah, I believe that too, Ryan. The satellites took over, and yeah. So, where's everybody else? I don't know. Maybe, I guess nobody wanted to come in for a second screen. But, oh well, it is what it is. Put some negative trim on, so we start to kind of gently lose some altitude as we get closer to our time approach there. Okay, well, you got me until my 350 time. Okay, so that's about, well, we'll probably be landing before 350 your time. Yeah, that's like that's still over an hour away, so no, we'll be on the ground before that. We should be. Alright, so yeah, we finally, I think we're kind of leveled off here. I think we went a little bit above. Technically, our cruising altitude was like 6,300 feet, but we're not getting dinged for being above our cruising altitude. So, yeah, we're okay. So, but yeah, if you ever get to South Carolina, I definitely recommend taking a tour of Beaufort. I don't think you can tour the Marine Corps Air Station there, but you can tour Beaufort. You can tour, definitely take a tour of Charleston. The cool thing about the what comes up really fast in a plane? The speed? The altitude? I don't know. In Charleston, if you do the tour, it's all horse-drawn carriage, so it's kind of slow, and you can kind of see all the sights, and they stop and talk about the history of Charleston and everything. There's you don't know what tour you're going to end up on, so when you buy your ticket, you just don't know which way they're going to go until they pull out and they're going to say, well, we're going to cover this particular. So there's always something to see in Charleston. Yeah, I highly recommend if you ever get a chance to go to Charleston. It's definitely one of those places. Really kind of laid back sort of area. All the money, they say Charleston is made up of old money, so the houses in Charleston are all traditionally owned by families. The ground, Rob, just point the nose down. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So yeah, they talked a little bit about that. So a lot of the houses are owned, it's a generational thing. They do talk about they bring that up. I think one of the tours I took, the tour guide kind of talked a little bit about that somewhat like Savannah, that, houses generally stay within a family for many generations. And, if they sell it off, whoever takes it over certainly has to have the money to buy the property. And, yeah, it's a lot of old money there. Well, I guess that means like tobacco money. A lot of people own tobacco plantations in Charleston. Yeah, so I guess that's the old money that they're talking about. So, yeah, but yeah, if you ever get over there, do a tour. Even if you just pick whatever one you get on, just enjoy it. Lots of scenery, lots of beautiful homes. They talk about the design of the homes and how the way that it's made is to kind of encourage airflow through the house. Because when many of these houses were built, there wasn't air conditioning. So the way that it's designed is you open the windows and the air just flows through the house naturally to try to cool it off. And then you have, like on the porch area of the house, a lot of them have ceiling fans, so you can sit out there and have your mint julep and enjoy a nice summer evening, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's a really neat area. So there's the Atlantic Ocean there. So, yeah. We are about just under 30 miles. I it says 22.4 for our timed approach. So I just add 10. So about 30 something, almost 30 miles, give or take. I know there's like the formula. I'm not sure. In fact, let me plug it into my calculator on my phone real quick. 21.77 times 1.1. So about 25 miles. I'm overestimating. So about 25 miles true distance. You know, like if we were driving in a car, we would have 25 miles to our timed approach. Start slowing down here, and we should just start to lose more altitude here naturally. As we come into getting closer to Charleston Executive. But yeah, along here, they call like Savannah up into, I guess, Hilton Head, maybe even farther. They call it the Coastal Empire. And I don't know where that term was coined from or whatever, but in the news they talk about, they call it, you know, covering the Coastal Empire. And here where I live, they call it the Southern Tier. Alright, now the tricky part's going to be, we have to kind of manage our speed because we're going to lose altitude and the speed is going to go up. Now we're getting up into the 100 knots. I'm going to come to the left of our timed approach here. So once we get closer,
Charleston approach on 120.7. Good day.
120.7 Cessna 237. Charleston approach Cessna 237 6,400 feet.
Cessna 237 Charleston approach altimeter 29.9 to continue as planned.
I'm guessing if I'm just a bit to the left there, then I can, once we get closer, I'm going to call into the airport to say we're ready to come in for landing. We just need our pattern entry point and all that. So if everything goes according to plan, knock on fake wood, what we're going to do is we're going to come in, and once I get that approval, hopefully we're going to just kind of bank into the right, enter the pattern, glide in, and land this sucker. And then we'll be wrapping up for the day. We'll be back tomorrow on the Bakerloo line. We're doing the whole route, and then we'll be flying. We'll talk about tomorrow's flight. Top Doo Farms. Huh. It must be a private airfield. Yeah, we'll probably fly from Charleston. Maybe we'll go up to North Carolina. We're just going to kind of do a little bit of an East Coast tour. No, matter of fact, tomorrow, I know what we'll do. I wish Vic was here. Am I nuts to spend 122 tickets to see a show in London? No. If you've got the money and you know it's something you really want to do, go for it. Don't worry about if you're nuts or not. If it's something you really want to do, go do it. Is there a possibility you're going to be able to see the show again another time? If not, then, I mean, I wouldn't take anything for granted. I'd go see the show. If I had the money, absolutely, I would go see it. But that's just me. Cessna 172. Skyhawk. I don't know, that's a kind of a cool name, I think. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to fly. God, I wish Mick was here, because I know he'd be happy to see this, but maybe it'll be a surprise for him. But yeah, we're gonna fly. We're gonna go back to Florida tomorrow, and we're gonna do the. Yeah, go for it. I mean, don't take anything for granted. Go enjoy it. Life's too short not to. Yeah, we're gonna fly along the Kennedy Space Center tomorrow. We'll do that. We'll just do a tour around there, flying tour from the air. We'll try to stay about 3,000 or maybe 2,500 feet or so we can kind of see stuff. Try to make it interesting. Runway 9.
Kilo Juliet Zulu India traffic Cessna 23711 miles west, 4,700 feet inbound to land runway 9.
There we go. Alright, so we got our point of entry, and of course we're going to have to do this whole kind of loop around sort of thing. But that's okay. Some airports just have different approaches. So we're going to kind of we're going to have the airfield to our left, kind of fly over and just get a glance at it as we get ready to go into the pattern entry. I was hoping for a straight-in approach, but that's okay. we're losing altitude. We're losing a bit, but we're not like just zipping right down to the close to the top of the trees. So I think we're doing okay this time. Alrighty. Of course, right now this whole area is probably just getting thrashed by lightning storms, and very well likely that it's on its way here. We had a little bit of rain this morning, nothing major, but just a little morning shower. All right. Start kind of making a lazy left here in a moment. There's our airfield. So 9 is just, it's, if we look out here out the window, it's going to be to our left here, straight along. We're kind of flying a little bit parallel to it. Kind of start making that lazy left turn here. We get closer to our pattern entry. Slow our descent a little bit if we can, till we get closer to our pattern entry again. Now, of course, I'm kind of guessing here what's the best way to approach this situation here, but I think we're going to be okay. I like to have a little bit of, well, hey, good. I mean, like I said, hopefully it's something you all enjoy, and you seem to be working pretty hard there, Ryan, quite a lot, so time to enjoy some of that hard work. Yeah, exactly.
Juliet Zulu India traffic Cessna 237 3 miles east 2,100 feet inbound to land runway 9er.
Alright. Here's our pattern entry. We're a little high and a little fast, but that's okay. Stall. Don't want it to stall. Come on, level up there. Alright, there's our runway there off the left wingtip again. There we are. It was good to show up. I'm going to do Lion King at some point, probably as well as Frozen for my mom and stepdad. Careful on the ground. Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. I think we're in a nice controlled sort of descent here. The tricky part for me is that is getting the speed just right coming into landing. Finding that balance of, bleeding off the altitude correctly, and then also getting our speed so that we don't stall, but we slow down enough. Go ahead and pop third, 20-degree flap. We can slow down even more. Alright, here we go. This is the tricky part here. We start to really bleed off the altitude. But I don't want to bleed it off too quick because I want to have enough to kind of deal with at the end here. Yeah, controlled descent, controlled crash, yeah, either one will work. It says we're too fast, but I think we're going to be okay. Line back up here.
500.
Here we are. Uh-oh, little bump, little bump, little bump. I'm going to turn off here and come to a stop. Now, I don't think that there's any kind of a ground. This isn't probably a towered sort of place. I think this is like, this isn't private, but it's probably very people who know, probably who fly in here already know where they're going to park at. So we're just going to kind of turn to the right here and follow that along, because I think aviation parking is down the way there. Yeah, that wasn't too bad of a landing. A little bump there, but nothing unmanageable. We got back on the ground and we were able to put it on the ground. And
Kilo Juliet Zulu India traffic Air Madeline 6018 miles west inbound RNAV runway 89er. Kilo Juliet Zulu India traffic Air Madeline 601 is on final runway 89er to land.
oh, somebody else followed us in here. Hello, Pithers. You just missed the whole flight. That's okay. Wow, that was kind of a weird bump in the road there. So I'm guessing if we find a bunch of people standing around, or a couple people standing around, we'll know we're just going to pull in right there, and then we'll come bring this to an end. It's getting in the stream. That's okay. Well, I know, you know, like I said before, everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. It's all good. Let's see. I don't see anybody really standing around down there. Looking like they're waiting on us, so you know.
India traffic Air Madeline 6012 miles west inbound RNAV runway 89er.
Well, they must have gone around. Oh. Wow, that seems to be a rather large plane coming in for here. Okay. I think they meant to go to, hello, Milla. Everybody's here late. 32, there's 32 Becks. Oh, man. Well, here's the deal, folks. If you rewatch it, the stream, we did a nice flight from Savannah to Charleston, South Carolina. And we, before we flew, I did a nice kind of overhead view, talked a little bit about Savannah. No, that looks like a jetliner almost. That doesn't look like an executive jet, but I could be wrong. So take a look at that. Yeah, I try to land, taxi to a place, and normally if it's towered, we would be able to call in and say, hey, where are we going to park this thing? But I found a parking spot here. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. But anyway, so yeah, nice flight. We talk a little bit about the history of the area. So yeah, please do watch the replay. Enjoy that. Tomorrow, so we're going to go ahead and shut the engine down. We're just going to do this. So yeah, and we're going to end here. So tomorrow's stream, we are going to fly, and I wish Mick was here because I know he's going to get a tickle out of this. So let's go back in here. So we're going to fly from, let's go down the coast here to Florida. There's Kennedy Space Center right there. So we are going to fly from Melbourne. Well, yeah, we'll take off maybe from right here. This is probably the short runway for us so that we can take off. Oh, no, that's a jet. Oh, boy. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah. So we'll use runway 5. We're going to take off, and then we're going to cruise around. We're going to go up over Cape Canaveral. Where'd it go? Not Patrick Air Force Base. Where did it go? There it is. So we're going to fly over the Cape. There's Cocoa Beach. Yeah, Cape Canaveral. We're going to fly over Cape Canaveral. And then from there, once we've flown around Cape Canaveral, I will put in for a request to land at runway 18 here at Space Coast Regional. And Mick has been here the entire time. Oh, Mick! Oh, man! Why didn't you say something? Here I am thinking that, oh, Mick hasn't been here the entire time watching. Oh, for the Lord's sake, Mick. Oh, sneaky Mick. Has he been that way his entire life, Becky? Is that how he's been? Is he just sneaky like that sometimes? He just likes to come in and see what's going on, and he doesn't say hi or nothing. Oh, yeah. So we're going to try to capture that point of interest, the Kennedy Space Center there. I highly recommend if you ever get to go, please do. And then also, if you do nothing else, go see the Shuttle Atlantis. On FIFA, oh, okay. You're doing the beta testing. I got you. That's cool. Go see the Shuttle Atlantis. If you do nothing else, if you don't take the tour out to the launching pads and all that kind of stuff, go see the Shuttle Atlantis. I promise you will be moved by that whole thing. So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna take off from down the road here, basically. We're going to take off here. We're going to fly up. We're going to tour along the coast here. Come in. There's Cocoa Beach. We're going to tour Cocoa Beach. And then we'll turn in or we'll go over the Kennedy Space Center and all that. And then we'll turn in here. Make sure we snag that whole thing there. That's the visitor center and all that. But you can tour the launch pads. They take you out to some of the launch facilities and all that. And I think they even have you on the bus. You go by the big crawler. Put Mick in the naughty corner. Nah, yeah, nah. I know he's doing something important, so that's fine. I just didn't know that you were here the entire time, Mick. And so I was like, man, why isn't Mick saying nothing? If he got busy with the girls and they needed time with Dad, so that's okay. But yeah, so then we'll try to capture that there, and then come into we'll ask for a clearance into. Actually, we'll come into runway 27 hopefully. So we'll land there, and that should be it. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Should be a good time. Matter of fact, we could even go as far south as Valkyria. Take off maybe from there, and that'll give us time to kind of line up across the coast here. Yeah, let's do that. We'll take off from there tomorrow. Maybe you could find the Millennial Farm by flight. Well, you know what? That's in what? Is it Wisconsin? Where's it at? What state is it in? I kind of remember, but I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't know that. Well, it wouldn't be a point of interest. We'd have to kind of figure out where, what city it's near, that I could probably find it from there. Minnesota, okay. So I gotta find. That's Sioux Falls, Idaho. Okay, so there's Minnesota International, right there, St. Paul. So I'm guessing if whatever city they're near, we could probably try to fly over the Millennial Farm. But I don't think it's like it's not like a waypoint of interest, unfortunately. So I'm not sure where we could find it at. I would need more information, but yeah, we could fly over that about that area. So, all right. So Kennedy Space Center tomorrow. Bakerloo line first thing in the morning. Lowry, Minnesota. Okay, let me go back. Lowry. Let's see if anything jumps out. It may have to zoom really far in. I guess I could search for. I have no idea where Lowry is in relation to like Minneapolis, or I'm guessing it would be kind of out this way maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of small towns. I have no idea. I need like a larger area, or in relation to like Minnesota or something like that. But yeah, if I could find that, we could probably try to do a flight over the Millennial Farm. Yeah, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind seeing. Crash didn't do it. Oh, okay. No, I don't mind doing it. Can you fly over Disney World? I think we can. We could do. So there's Orlando International. So Disney World is right. Okay, so Disney World's near to Kissimmee, Florida. And all we're looking for is the the area, the Epcot Center, because I think that would be easier to find from the air. Okay, there's Lake Buena Vista. I would think that would be a thing in the game, like flying over. There's Orlando International. There's Kissimmee, Bonaventure Lakes. So I'm guessing it's got to be around here somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, it's not like in Orlando. It's in Kissimmee, I believe. But I think it's like close to around here somewhere. Like it should be easily recognizable from the air, especially the Epcot Center. Nope, that's not it. We're just looking for a huge parking lot, basically. Belle Isle. Not to be confused with... Oh! Real quick before we go. I totally forgot about this, but we'll go find it here again. And we'll find it here in a moment. Yeah, I just have to find... I know it's got to be around here somewhere. But yeah, I would have to try to see where... But yeah, we could probably fly around Disney World. Maybe this is it. This could be it right here. That looks like something that would be kind of Disneyland. That's all the areas where you stay. There it is. There's the Epcot Center. So I think Disney World is down. Is it down or up from here? Yep, there's Epcot Center. Disney World, I think, is probably right. All the golf courses, but there's at least the Epcot Center. I knew we could find that. Then if we just follow oh, there we go. Disney World will be right. That's all parking, so that should be... Nope, that's one of their... Disney World is right there. There it is. I knew we'd find it, because there's the castle. Yep, there's Disney World right there. We could fly over both. Yeah. So, yep, there's Epcot, and then Disney World is right there. Because they're not right next to each other. You can take the monorail train. I knew if I could find the monorail tracks, that we'd find one or the other. So, yep. But that's Epcot. And then real quick before we go, since I forgot about it in the beginning, and I meant to say something about it. Right. Where's the... There it is. There it is. So this road, this is like you drive on this part to get into the golf club area. You know, if you're going to play golf here on this golf course, this is where you start at. But this road, following along with my cursor here, that is a racetrack. There's the pits right there. Now, they claim it's one of the oldest racetracks in America. Now, I don't know by how old, but, there's always that speculation. Okay, thanks. That this was here before, they always say Indianapolis is one of the oldest, but they say this one's even older, but I don't know if that's really true or not. But, yeah, so there's a racetrack right here. And, again, if you look on there, it's under the Savannah Speed Classics albums on my Flickr. Click on that. I got pictures of the cars right around here, coming through here, and then breaking into here. And then I've got some cars from along because I did have a press pass. So I got cars as they were coming into the turn here, going on the main straight, basically. So, yeah. But there it is. All right, that's going to be it for today. Not that far from Magic. I think it's not far. I don't know. I can't remember. I've never been to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland, but not Disney World. So I couldn't say for sure where Universal is in relations to all that. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow we're flying from Valkyria. We're going to take off from here, right there. Matter of fact, actually, you know what? We're going to take off from 10. We're going to go out, and we're going to come out over the water here, come up the coast. Just have a nice coastal flight here in the morning. And then come up Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, There's the all the launch stuff, I think. So we're going to come across and then turn in here, and then I'll call in for clearance on 27 at Space Coastal Regional. All right, yeah. No worries. It's okay. I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out, even if you were lurking, Mick. So, yeah. Generally, rule of thumb, 6:30. It's 11:30 a.m. BST, Train Sim World 2, and then 9 o'clock, which is 2 o'clock BST, we're flying. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I will see you all tomorrow morning on the Bakerloo line. We're going to do the whole line from Elephant and Castle to Harrow and Weldstone. Boy, stop it. That's okay, Mick. I love you anyway. I know it's you're doing a little bit of double duty. You're trying to help deal, figure out some of the stuff in with the beta for FIFA 22. So yeah, I think you were just about the whole time, Brian. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. I will see you all tomorrow, and take care.